Hey guys, it's Carl. So I've noticed a lot of people online have been recommending the Nikon D90 as a starter camera for people who want to get into photography. So today we're going to talk about the Nikon D90 and whether or not it's still good in 2020. I'm Carl and this is Pulling Focus. So the Nikon D90 is an entry-level camera that came out in 2008. It has a 12.3 megapixel crop sensor, which is very similar to the one that is in the Nikon D300, Nikon's pro-level APS-C camera at the time. It also has a magnesium alloy frame, and most importantly, it has a built-in autofocus motor. So that means that this little entry-level camera can take on Nikon's older D lenses, as well as all f-mount lenses that they released after which. So this is the reason why this camera was recommended to me as a beginner back in 2012. And it's probably the main reason why you should get this camera in 2020. So the Nikon D90 is also a very legendary camera, mostly because it's the first ever DSLR to have HD video. So everybody always says that the Canon 1D was the first one to actually get video, but this little camera beat Canon to the punch by just a little bit. Now the D90's video capabilities is nothing to write home about, especially in 2020, where the DSLRs take the place of actual cinema cameras in the production of movies. It only shoots 720p with no manual settings, and this is not ideal shooting videos, but at the time, this feature was revolutionary. Going back to the photo side of the camera, this camera is actually a beast if you use it in the right way. So the greatest strength that this camera has is the ability to use D lenses, like this. And that, I feel, is a very big advantage, especially when you compare it to other entry-level DSLRs that Nikon offers, or even Canon offers to this day. So D lenses like this are actually pretty cheap. This is a Nikkor 85mm 1.8D. So you can get this lens, and not brand new because they don't manufacture them anymore, but second hand at around $100. Now if you compare that price to the 85mm f1.8G, that's around half the price. And you get the same amount of bokeh, and you get the same amount of light. Now I got the 85mm on this camera right now, and as you can see, once I turn on the autofocus switch, it autofocuses. I'll send a test pic, but yeah, it autofocuses without an issue. Now where this camera actually does fall short on is in its ISO range. Now while current day cameras like the Nikon D5600 or the D3400 would have no problems shooting at ISO 1600, that's very close to the max of this camera's limit. Now the Nikon D90 only goes up to ISO 3200, which you can expand to ISO 6400, but at that point it's better to just take a picture with your phone. And now that brings us to our final question. Would I recommend the Nikon D90 to a beginner in 2020? The answer is a very reluctant no. I mean, I personally learned on the Nikon D90, and honestly, I think there are better options out there, especially considering the new technology that's come out over the years. The Nikon D90 is a 12-year-old camera at this point, and I honestly think that beginners shouldn't have to worry about ISO or all the other technicalities, and they should focus first and foremost on their composition, because a good picture has good composition. The settings, it doesn't matter. It might matter to some people, but for the vast majority of people, especially for those that are not photographers, settings don't matter. Megapixels don't matter. I don't care. Give me a 10 megapixel image, it doesn't matter to me. As long as the composition is right, I think that's a good image to me. And although I think the Nikon D90 can deliver in that regard, it's just much easier to get the right composition, to get the best image if you don't have to worry about settings. Like if you get a Nikon D5600 or a Fujifilm X-A whatever the new camera is, you're not gonna have to worry about settings as much as you would if you had a Nikon D90. Because if you have a D90, you're always wondering, you're always thinking, shit, can I actually get this image? Because it's so dark, I might not have the ISO range to pull this off without a flash. And yeah, honestly, I think beginners should get a newer camera. I'm not sure which one. I like the Nikons. I like the Nikon Z50 actually. I'm thinking of getting one. But the D90 is not the camera for beginners. Alright, thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more videos from me, I have some videos linked right over here, probably. And you know what? Subscribe to my channel, like and subscribe, and also subscribe to Camira Productions. That's my group where we upload videos about our shoots and whatnot. I think we're